Howdy everyone, welcome back to a live stream. Now of course I still have the piss poor quality, but of course I still want to talk. I still want to talk about stuff. Um, Obviously I don't plan on doing daily live streams. I know I've done one, well, two yesterday, but I don't know. Anyways, if you look at the time right below, you see it's like 10:16. It's pretty early in the morning, and the weather reports, well, it is cloudy. It's cloudy, gray clouds hovering over me. It's so annoying, but it is winter, so winter always has this type of weather. Oh, but spring will shower upon me. It'll literally just make the entire grounds wet for days and days. It won't stop raining. So of course, I hope spring is very calm though, because earlier this year we had a great colossal amount of rain. The rain was so bad it flooded many places. Um, and we lost so many lives. So I hope the rain calms down just for a few more years, because we just face through so much, especially during summer. I think we need, well, it was autumn instead. Well, yeah, autumn. So I think we just need a break from heavy rains. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about. Of course, the title is title is different from the thumbnail, but of course, uh, there's not much to talk about. There's not much to talk about. You know, we have just so much else to talk about besides the news, because the news is just it's not as important to read right now. Uh, but of course, there are some important things going on. It's just I don't really want to read it. So of course, if you go in my community tab, which is available, I don't think it's available on mobile devices yet. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe on some devices. I don't know. As you can see, I have a male to female video. Well, not video. Image. Then we have this. Now, I'm going to read this to you. I want to read this because it's pretty important. It has to do with, obviously, what the title is. And the title is very clear. You know, it has to do with fiction. It has to do with my fiction, obviously, and not some other people's fiction. So let's start talking about this. Now, I've been talking about Project Poison. It's a code name for something else, but I've been talking about it for such a long time. I have been, posting about it also on my community tab. If you're interested, you can check it out. There's a bunch of posts over there. Okay. I think I have some knowledge on what I'm wanting to do for this book series. Obviously, it's going to be an elongated series. In the past, I brought up a plethora of chapters for the story, some making a return from previous versions, while others trailed behind and eventually got left behind. What I'm trying to say is that in every iteration I've had for this project, obviously I've added new arcs, new chapters, new characters, and then I make a different version because I feel like the previous version was too much, or too little. So I continue to do it, and then obviously as I keep doing so, some of the arcs and chapters for the story, some of them that are really good, really stays, while the others lag behind and eventually just get forgotten of. I kid you not, there's like so many freaking chapters I never use. I had the idea of using, but I don't want to use them. Recently took out a chapter I had in mind since 2020. The chapter honestly felt like it was I who tried to make it important. Basically, it was a filler it felt like filler. I think it was filler. But then I wanted to be all I and mighty and actually make it more important, and that's the problem. We make something like that important, what do you get? Of course, trash. So at the end of the day, filler isn't that bad, but this chapter I had, it was gonna, well, look, Project Poison is supposed to naturally be a web series. So it's supposed to be like 60 episodes, in other words, and that's just insane. So I try to make it important, and it wasn't that important to begin with, you know. So it just felt like it was forced to be there because the amount of ideas I wanted in it, and at the same time making it fuller will suck. So I thought about making it into uh, canon, but of course that did not make sense after a couple of months. Okay, fan service is also a good thing. I've literally created a villain for Flowers Are the Beauty cosplay. Yes, one of the main villains for Flowers Are the Beauty, he was heavily inspired because of fan service. Because I wanted fans to have something pretty good. I wanted fans to have a really good villain, and hopefully they will enjoy it. Now I've been dwelling on adding another character for Project Poison, but this won't be such an important character when compared to cardinal characters. In other words, basically, this character will not be as important as the main characters, as the protagonists. She won't have that much to do. This character will be more of a comedic relief. Now there will be moments where the main protagonists do something whimsical, but I want a super funny character, but also to lean more on the I can't even pronounce these words and I use them. Libidinous. I can't basically be more like open about your sexuality, Basically to be very, very, very naughty, I wanted a character like that, to be comedic and naughty. She, she will be related to some of the main protagonists, but its dealing should be done in a way to make light of certain situations. I was thinking of making a sapphic, but as I write this, I'm thinking of making a swing both ways. Now, basically, I was thinking of making a lesbian, just a plain lesbian, because, yeah, that's fine. I have a lot of lesbian characters. But then, as I was writing this specific paragraph, I thought to myself, hey, wouldn't it be nice if I also make a swing both ways? So because you need to understand that in the range of main protagonists, there's like 11 of them. Obviously, you have the main character, but then you have the rest of the supporting protagonists, and of course, many of them are males. And it would be kind of interesting to have a character that makes the male characters as well feel very sweaty, feel very nervous, And obviously, this character can make the main characters very, very naughty, feel naughty, In that way, she can tease the main characters a bit. Yeah, she'll always be wearing a one piece for some reason. No matter where she is, she will always wear it. She will also be thick. In other words, she will be hot, and she will always wear one piece. When I was thinking of the character long ago, I thought of making her wear one piece. Sounds pretty interesting, right? Pretty crazy, but that's just what it is, That's just what it is. I wanted her to wear that, and obviously some people may not like that, but at the end of the day, it's like that's more of the fan service stuff. And trust me, I barely put fan service in my stuff. I barely put like when it comes to fan service of revealing clothing and stuff like that, I barely put it. I barely put it in my ideas because I don't really focus on that. If there's an idea that's based on fan service, that's fine. But when it comes to the rest of the ideas, I don't really want to make all of my work so naughty, But sometimes you can have certain characters that are naughty, Am I making sense? Am I making sense? I hope so. Uh, okay. Okay, I want to point this out. Because this has been going on for such a long time. Let me take a break from my characters and lesbian stuff. Let me start talking about this. Yeah, here's how it works. A woke show or movie comes out with a trailer. We call it out for the wokeness as due to leaks, pellucid signs in the trailer of wokeness. Basically, the leaks could say it's woke. Example, Masters of the Universe Revelations, and or we can just see the signs in the trailer. The other people will get mad about us calling it out. They've done that. You know, when Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers called uh, Halo woke, no one believed him. People just called him a racist and said he's just evil, he doesn't understand stuff, and they called him the worst things. And then when the show came out, it was so bad. It's embarrassing to see the same people who mock Jeremy talk about the show and criticize it. It's like once you numbskulls criticizing Jeremy, hmm, where's the apology? You know, the show slash movie releases obviously it's woke trash. Said people who got mad at us on how bad the movie is. Okay, no, wait, like I suck at reading. I love writing, but I suck at reading. Said people who got mad at us speak on how bad the movie is, but evade discussing the polluted wokeness. In other words, take Halo for instance. Halo. A person who criticized Jeremy did not speak about the wokeness in the show. I don't think so. I don't think they did because they made videos after that calling the show trash, but do not say it's woke trash. They will always evade the idea of wokeness because honestly they're woke themselves. That's fine. That's totally fine. They're normies. They're totally fine with wokeness. You know, but of course they'll get mad at the other stuff, which is totally fine, but they won't point out the wokeness, which we've been pointing out early, and no one believed us, and then we are right, but they don't say we're right. Okay, okay. Going back to the, going back to my discussion. Let's continue. So I've made a plethora of characters for the past few years, and many of them are either lesbian or, of course, trans. Now, when it comes to Flowers Are the Beauty, I'm still developing that game because I need to make sure I just sit down one day and start because it's going to be very interesting. It's been so long since I looked at the previous notes from Flowers Are the Beauty, so going back is going to be really much of a giant field day for me. But of course, I'm literally looking forward to it. Now, the game won't really be as I wanted it to be because I wanted it to have puzzles everywhere and you can change the armor anytime, and that sounds great. That sounds great. But at the same time, here's the thing, here's the trick. It's gonna be too long to code, and I want the game fast. It is gonna be a free game, so I might as well get it out. There will be multiple choices, yes, there will be multiple choices. Maybe you might be able to have options to wear different armor with multiple choices, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's just that I don't know how am I gonna work with that because to wear the different armor, you have to scavenge around and look for stuff. But let's just see how I find it. Let's just see how I work with it. It will be interesting. That's all I'm saying. It will be very freaking interesting. Moving on, Flowers Are the Beauty will include around 9 chapters, possibly 9 chapters, and each chapter will get very interesting. I'm kind of glad I took some time a couple months ago to just think of the characters and what I want the characters to do and be. Because when I first concepted Flowers Are the Beauty, and I started writing about it, yes, the main character was there, but she was barely focused on. Yes, she had a power boost and everything like that, but there was not much heroic things about her. It really felt sad. There was not much build up to the story. It just started random out of nowhere, and I feel like there needs to be build up to that. So what I've written back in 2019, that stuff will be chapter 4. Okay, so it'll make sense. Trust me, it'll make sense because chapter 4 is supposed to take place as a one only story. But of course, I decided to add more story to it and making the freaking game really long. But I don't want to make it too long. That's the problem. Certain chapters may feel very very lifeless at times, which I'm sorry for. But at the end of the day, it's like certain chapters won't really have so much walking to do or so much scavenging to do. You'll see. But obviously, I want the game out quickly as possible, even if it means me like making at least 6 chapters, posting it, and then I'll update the rest later. Even if that means that's fine. Anyways, because it is a free visual novel. It's not supposed to be paid for whatsoever. It's supposed to be free. But when it comes to a prequel for the story, I do plan a prequel because you can't shove so much. And this story is not about some other characters. It's about this main character. It's not about anyone else. So yeah, it is interesting to see how I'll do this. The prequel will not be a visual novel, it will actually be a 2D fighting game. So I hope I cleared up some issues over there because a lot of people have been waiting for this. I guess I've been speaking of this for years. Might as well get it out. And look, even if the game is somewhat complete, once again, it's just my first game, so it will be different. I'm not going to release games half finished. I do not like that. But since this one is somewhat free and it's going to be my first, I might as well just at least post it up because I don't think I'll have time to finish up every chapter before the end of the year. Might as well at least do like excuse me. Might as well just do like 6 or 7 chapters and then we can move on. Every chapter will start anew, so obviously, uh, obviously the choices you made in one chapter, it won't really it won't really rain upon the other chapters. Okay, I just want to make that very clear. Okay. So today the Wi-Fi is working great. Yesterday was a pain in the butt. Um, so I deeply apologize for yesterday's live stream. I deeply apologize for it. Okay. Um, so as I was thinking of Flowers of the Beauty, I thought about adding one more character, and this time it's a Mayam character. It's a Mayam. I love saying Mayam, you know? I love saying it. I love saying it is Mayam. I love it. I love it. I don't know why I stopped saying it. It is Mayam. It is Mayam. Okay? I love saying it. So I'm sure many of y'all remember this. You know, anytime I mention a Mayam, anytime I mention a trans character, just remember it's gonna be Mayam. So I remember this. I remember this. What's this? Okay, okay. Jolin won golf. Why am I getting so awesome memes? Um. All right then. Okay. So. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just eating a sweet. Okay. So the Mayam characters. I've made a lot of main characters, and I'm thinking of adding one more to this one. Well, a lot is the understatement, but it's an overstatement, in fact. But still, I'm thinking of adding another character to the story. It was a Mayim, you know, and I'm thinking, obviously, previously, she was strong, she was powerful, and she was very tall and muscular. And then when she becomes a Mayim, she's very small and very thick, uh, very interesting stuff. So before, when she was a he, uh, obviously tall, as I said, tall, muscular, and a fighter. But of course, when she transitions, becomes a scaredy cat, a very girly girl, you know, uh, like very strange stuff, honestly. But at the same time, that character isn't a main character, you know. Okay. And I'm not making these characters just to get woke points. I could care less about woke points. You know, you see a lot of people just throw these characters in. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do it. I just feel happy when I make these characters. I'm not doing it to get recognition. I could care less about that. Okay, I think I should post instead. So last night I was enjoying my book, Fellowship of the Ring, and here's something awesome about reading. It just captures you in. I really wish I haven't stopped reading. When I went to high school, I just stopped reading, and in primary school, I would only read for the sake of reading, and that's the problem. That's the problem I have is that school never really encouraged you to read. Well, maybe they did, but it always felt like, for me, that I always have to read because I just want marks. I do not care about anything else. That's the problem. That's the problem. You only care about the marks rather than reading for the sake of for the sake of enjoyment. You just got to read to please the teachers. I don't like that. I do not like that one bit. In grade 9, I remember we were reading this book, Island of the Blue Dolphins, or some dolphins, I guess. And um, I remember just randomly staring somewhere. I was sitting right in the back, so no teacher could see me, but I was randomly staring at something, and then all of a sudden, I lost track of where the children were because they were all reading at once. Um, so yeah, that's the problem. Is that the encouragement in primary school was there, but it wasn't for our enjoyment. It was for their marks, basically. You know. Okay. I'm just saying, I really wish they encouraged more for enjoyment rather than just reading for marks. Because when you read for marks, that's it, done and dusted. You do not read anything else. You just read it for the sake of reading it. Sure, it's a test to see how good you read, but come on, really, they don't really want you to read anything else for fun or whatever. So I really wish a lot of people will, do that on their own. Because at this point, you can't really trust everyone to say read for enjoyment. You can't really say that. You have to trust upon that yourself. Because waiting for someone to tell you that it's not going to work out. Throughout my life, I only read just for the sake of reading, and that was not good one bit. For the sake of marks, for the sake of just letting the teacher give you a couple of marks, that doesn't make sense. Reading should continue even after those marks. Okay, so I'll be writing some stuff for a post. Okay. Do I normally start with hello? I don't think so. I just go straight forward. Okay, I'm sorry about my voice. It's so creepy. I never warm it up. I never warmed it up. Okay. I know I'm missing a lot of punctuations and the capital letters, but when it comes to my posts, when it comes to posting, I do not really do that. I'm very informal with my writing. I always just write whatever. Sometimes I don't really care about adding uh, the punctuation marks because it's just a post. It's social media. But when it comes to writing, like writing books, I kid you not. I literally use all the punctuations. I use all the marks. I use full stops, uh, commas, semicolons, and all the other stuff. I use them. I really use them. But when it comes to like writing for YouTube stuff or whatever, I'm totally fine with making a couple of mistakes because it's not the end of the world. But for books, I make sure I write properly. So for Flowers of the Beauty, I plan to add a man character. I do not want to spoil who the character actually is because I feel like that'll just be too much. Let me just write it in somewhat secretive, in a secretive way. That will be much better instead. So, I'm thinking of words. I'm thinking of a couple of words. Sometimes you need to have a lot of words. Now, I never really explained how characters can become mams because, there's multiple ways in different worlds how people can become a mayam. There's multiple ways. For example, Flowers of the Beauty does not take place on our planet. It takes place in a different planet. So obviously the way of transitioning is going to be different. Um, and altogether, even when I tell stories on this planet, the way of transitioning is different compared to our real world. It's fantasy. I really want to make it fantasy. I don't want it to be very slouchy. Because in the real world, you gotta keep taking your hormones. In the real world, you gotta keep taking your hormones. A lot of health issues can appear, but in the fantasy world, it can be as magical as it can be. But I'm sure I'll think of the characters can transition. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if I'll make her a lesbian. I don't know. I don't know. But at the end, it doesn't matter the character, because Flowers Are the Beauty is not about her. It's about a different character. I actually did draw the character slightly back a couple years ago. I just did a skeleton of the character. So yeah, I never finished that up, but I just did that. You can just check it a couple. Just check a couple videos ago and you'll see it. Like basically a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago. That's how long I was holding on to the story. Okay, so I really apologize. Okay. Hates fighting and loves to daydream of strong guys. Um, Now I did 2019. Um, so once again, you know, I've actually written a man character back in 2019 for this visual novel. Of course, not a main character, but a powerful one. And of course, it's not about her, obviously. And um, I just thought adding another one would be kind of cute. But this time it'll be more of a dainty character, not a fighter, you know. Um, I don't think I spelled it properly. She likes to. Honestly, I have no idea how people will accept this character. But once again, I'm not making these characters just to please a couple of people. I'm not making these characters just to please a bunch of SJWs. You think I'll do it? If I did, then I wouldn't really be a trans conservative, would I? I would be different, you know. So I'm not doing it to please people. You know, I know there are people on, you know, who watch me that will like stuff like this, but you need to understand what I'm talking about, you know, because we live in an age where people will always make these characters not for the sake of them existing, but for the sake of them getting virtue signal points, you know, brownie points, you know, so they can brag about it about social media, you know. They only do it because of social media. They don't give a damn about these characters whatsoever, you know. So at the end of the day, really am invested in these characters. You know, no matter how big, no matter how small, I'm really invested in these characters. And I really appreciate my work. Um, Obviously, like I'm so happy with these characters that I'm even looking for a unique way and a logical way so they can transition. But of course, yeah, I'm not doing it for the sake of getting millions of people to like it, because once again, everyone has different tastes. And once more, this isn't just about these characters, these Mayan characters. Obviously, it's not just about them. You know, they're always the sideline characters. The two I mentioned earlier, because they're not part of the main cast. They won't be part of the main cast. So I don't really see, you know, how this is pandering, because it's not. Give me a couple of moments. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I was eating some apricot sweets, and they're very good. You know, they're basically these little orange sweets with sugar wrapped around them. Obviously, not the best to eat with gum pains, but at the end of the day, it's like, hey, I'm hungry. You know, I never had so much sugar in such a long time. So yeah, okay, okay. So maybe, okay, I'm thinking about this just now as I write. Maybe she is also married. No, I don't know. I don't know, to be fair. I think that's just continuing to be so weird. Um, honestly, I have no idea how this character will be performing, but honestly, I really hope people appreciate the character. I really hope so. But then again, it's not me to force upon people. I'm going to post this because I never posted anything in such a long time. Now let's talk about let's talk about what else can I talk about, to be fair? The lesbian characters, okay? Then we'll go back to the trans characters. Lesbian characters. Trust me, I have over a billion lesbian characters. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but I have so many lesbian characters. Every time I keep getting so many ideas for lesbian characters. At this point, I have more lesbian characters than straight characters. Um, so I really like the idea of having these characters. Okay, what's going on? What's going on? Why does it say no data? It literally has like green over here. What's going on? Honestly, I don't understand how these things, you know, threaten my streaming. You know, it's just so obnoxious. My internet is good. I've said this before. My internet is good. The Wi-Fi is so close to me. At this point, it might as well just be right behind me. Um, which it is right behind me, but not literally. It's like behind my room, obviously, and it's still strong. It's still strong when I watch videos. It's strong when I post stuff. It's strong when I do other stuff. So why is it taking so long when it comes to streaming? I guess because it's live. It has to capture every second. I don't know, honestly. I feel like it should have been more faster. Plus, we have fiber now, so it's even faster than before. Okay. So of course, she is an interesting concept. She is very interesting. Now, a couple years ago, I mentioned of making a Mayam superhero, and of course, a lot of y'all were really excited about that. I've even written down the entire arc for the character, you know, what I've been planning. I kept going back and forth whether I should make it into a cartoon, whether I should make it into a comic. I don't know. I think I should make it into a comic instead because that's much better, much faster. Maybe I'm giving too much out. Maybe I'm giving too much out. Okay. Maybe I'm giving too much out, so let me just cut the sentence out. Okay. She then takes it upon herself to become a hero. I remember the design of the outfit. It's supposed to be a one piece with a green cape. But I can't remember what color the one piece is supposed to be. Was it supposed to be light brown? Was it supposed to be dark brown? I don't know. I think I should use a color that I've never used before. Okay. Yeah, basically, I can't remember that much from my previous design, but I can remember most of it. I can remember the one piece. I can remember the cape. I do remember she had something on her wrist, basically for extra tools. Or was she wearing gloves? I remember she was wearing these big boots. These boots that can actually cause the grounds to shake. Um, yeah, I know, pretty crazy, right? She made those boots herself, and yeah, I don't know, honestly, but I hope people get to enjoy it. Uh, okay, one more post and that's it. Done. Alright then, I guess that's it for the live stream. I hope you all had a fantastic day. Before we go, I would like to at least show you this. I would at least like to share you something very funny. Okay? This made me laugh so much the other day. It's just so hilarious. It's so hilarious, guys. Oh my gosh, look at this. What's this? Okay. Congress unveils movie release schedule for Jan 6 Cinematic Universe. Oh my gosh, it's so hilarious. After months of anticipation, Congress has finally unveiled the release schedule for all of the upcoming installments in the January 6th universe. With big name directors and a host of new characters, the ever-expanding reach of Jan 6 Studios shows no signs of slowing down. Check out the new Phase 2 release below. And as you can see, we have a lot of shows for this timeline. This is Phase 2 after all. I wonder what Phase 1 was about. Infinity Earring. Watch as the Jan 6 committee moves to lock up half the country by trying every Trump voter for treason. With a runtime of 5,000 hours, might as well be eternal. Yeah, uh, guardians of the democracy, prepare to be dazzled by Eric Swalwell's incredible nunchuck skill. Also prepare to watch Adam Kissinger cry a lot. Giuliani, the first insurrectionist. An incredible tale of a scrawny man gaining the ability to fight for freedom while maintaining a blood alcohol content rivaling Nancy Pelosi. The Incredible Hoax. Tensions run high as the loser of the presidential election accuses Russia of tampering with the wait a minute Shifty and the Legend of the Buffalo guy. That's just so funny, honestly. The ultimate illicit battle. A hero from somewhere in the depths of America's national park system. Stunning visuals. What if Trump won? A horrific, imaginative nightmare of what Trump will be doing to the stock market, inflation, the border crisis, terrorists, internal wars, international laws, race relations, gender, the ideology for kids, respect for institutions like Supreme Court. Ocasio-Cortez, Wakanda Forever. The story of a woman's remarkable awakening to her indigenous heritage during a mushroom-fueled bender. Audiences will have their hearts crushed when the heroine dies, and then dies again, and maybe again. Trumpiest. A sorrowful tale of Trump's evil vampire twin. The movie is likely being slated for release on 3 different occasions. Something to do with the star Jared Leto. Oh my gosh, these people are so hilarious. They're so freaking good. Too Fast, Too Fauci. Anthony Fauci is slated to direct, produce, and star in this epic film about himself, the great American hero ever. The movie was reportedly funded at the last minute by a $500 million gift from Pfizer. Spider-Man, no way out of solitary confinement until you cop a plea deal. To be produced by Stephen Colbert's team soon as they walk free from their charges of trespassing at the Capitol. Oh my gosh. These people are so hilarious, honestly. I'm looking forward to the entire cinematic universe, especially Spider-Man. No way out of solitary confinement. I'm looking forward to that movie, okay? But speaking of Stephen Colbert, that guy is really unhinged. Honestly, the dude literally gets a lot of views because of his Trump rants. The rest of his stuff suck. I'm not even joking. It sucks so badly. It's so bad. These people are literally pure propagandists at this point, and they can't even show that much anymore from Brandon. But then again, honestly, I could care less about them because they are very rude people. Why should I put all my thoughts onto them? But anyways, his Fleming crew basically got arrested for trespassing on the Capitol. He made like a bunch of freaking videos trashing people on Jan 6, you know? And here these people are getting arrested for storming the freaking Capitol. Okay. I wonder what he's gonna say. Because obviously he's gonna find some way. He and his writers, his crackpot writers, are gonna find something to say and turn it around and mock Trump instead. Because that's all they can do basically. They can't make fun of themselves. They cannot do that. They refuse to do that. Their side is full of crazies. You know, at this point, they feel like they are the good guys while they do the bad things. You know, while they touch children and stuff like that. While they pollute the environment. While they do the worst of the worst things to this world. You know, while they ebb the world. While they set the world on ebb. Basically, they think they're the good guys. Alright then. That's it for this video. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.